we have come here to do one of two things. Chew bubblegum and kick ass.
We're all out of bubblegum. But we're going to break a couple noses tonight.
Yep. Because he never shuts up.
Alright, so, welcome to Pro Talk Elite. Of course, Robert Vine, Jesse DeAngelis. We're back, boys. Sorry about the little bit of a hiatus. I've been working real late, not coming home until like 11:30 at night, not helping with video making.
Yeah, I've been working constantly, working the night shift and then working the day shift and being tired as all hell.
So, but we're gonna cross a couple boundaries tonight. Paul, I'm gonna come after you in a couple of seconds. The one thing we do want to talk to, behalf of Pro Talk Elite, me and Jesse, who is working on his 4th draft right now.
No. It's a lot more, but this is one of the only ones that actually know people in it.
We would like to send our condolences to the pro wrestling world and to Roddy Piper's family. And as one of my favorites,
Yes.
I'm going to miss you, Roddy, so much. And the fact that we lost you and Dusty in pretty much less than a month, it sucks. And but sadly, as I say,
somehow Hogan's still kicking.
The show must go on. That's going to change. Don't take that as terroristic threats.
No.
The long-going conversation right now between Pro Talk Elite and Birdman is the... How can I put this in a way? The idea of stars in WCW, idea of the main event roster, and the not good progression of mid-card to main event and to main event back down to mid-card. And yes, you did have a lot of the same guys holding the title: Hogan, Flair, Savage. Yeah, they did roll out Dusty Rhodes and Terry Funk and all that. But here's the thing: what people got to understand. As much as people complain and sit there and poke fingers at WCW, going they did blah blah blah, WWE does the same thing all the time too. However, when WWE can quickly get out of that rut,
that's actually his shirt.
I love that shirt now. When they can quickly get out of that rut, it took WCW a little bit longer. So yes, they did have the Jerichos, the Benoit, the Malenkos, the Saturns, the Guerreros, the Booker T's, the Scott Steiners, the Jeff Jarretts, the Kevin Nashes, the Goldbergs. They did stuck with the most established stars, but when you're talking about, and I hate to fucking admit this, when you're talking about the bigger names in wrestling, who's going to draw you an audience, Hogan. So of course you're going to have him be your mainstay, no matter how old he is. Because let's face it, after WCW went out of business, who held the WWE Undisputed Championship about 3 years later?
Hogan.
That
was horrible, by the way.
And he beat Triple H.
No, actually.
No, he beat Triple H. Because I just watched it.
Was it Taker that took it from Hogan then?
No, Taker helped him win it, and then he tried to take it from him.
No, Taker got it from Hogan.
Yeah, but Taker helped him win it too.
Okay.
Yeah, because he came in.
I can't remember, because honestly, that was during that stupid damn era, though. Honestly, it was just getting on my... No, it just got on my nerves.
Fun era. But anyway, so, yeah, and so, Paul, when you sit there and you go, that they hung on to the old guys too much, WWE did the same thing. For about a decade, that belt floated around between 5 people. Randy Orton, Triple H, John Cena,
and Edge. No, Edge only had it once.
And Taker. Taker held it a couple of times there, too.
Edge was more with the world champion.
Yeah. And then you get the occasional crappy champion like the Great Khali or...
Oh, God. Even Big Show.
Or Miz.
Because honestly, Big Show's like...
So, but here's the thing. WCW is doing the right thing at the end. They just did not have enough time to evolve themselves out of it. They had finally gotten rid of old-minded bookers.
Trying to focus on some of the...
Kevin Sullivan stopped booking finally. I hate to give Vince Russo any credit, but he did book the younger talent. And from what I can understand, before AOL Time Warner dropped them, they were going to push younger talent. They were finally taking the leap to the next step. And they just ran out of time. It's in that. And you want to talk about the invasion angle, saying, well, you have to get these guys here. You didn't have to get these guys there. That was a rushed job. They rushed Booker T in there. They rushed DDP in there. They didn't take the time with the contracts and try to renegotiate. all they did was grab a bunch of mid-card stars, which they did on purpose, and flushed them out on the WWE TV and saying this was the best that WCW had to offer, which was bullshit. Because the best that WCW had to offer, Nash, Goldberg, Sting, Steiner, the NWO, they all came later. They all came later after their contracts ran out. And you know what? Who can blame them? Sit at home and get paid? I'd do it. I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Eric Will's still there. So,
Paul, you're not understanding the fact that you're sitting there saying they didn't have stars because it's stuck around. WWE does it too. You get in the here, you're 6 guys, and that's it. So yeah, Hogan was in the 60s and Flair was winning the title. It doesn't matter. You're not trying to sell the fans that you already have. Oh. You're trying to buy the fans that you can still get. And if you can get fans with Hulk Hogan being your champion, or Ric Flair being, or a solidified name being your champion, and when you bring those fans in, then you want to give Booker the belt, or Jeff Jarrett, or Scott Steiner, that's when you have to do it. That's when I hate the fact that every other week I hear John Cena's going back in the picture of the heavyweight title. But it makes sense.
It don't make enough sense, though.
Yeah, but it makes sense because you can bring in that fan and then have Seth Rollins, who's on my TV right now, who's a
never shut up shirt,
who's a tremendous heel champion, finally get the fan base. So yes, to put it back on the same guy after a while, that makes sense. The only thing that WWE did more importantly,
it's not necessarily to give him the title. If they're gonna have him in the match, and at least he doesn't need the title. He honestly doesn't need the title anymore.
But to have him in the match makes sense.
Have him in the match is Have him in a match is one thing, but having him win is another. Honestly, he doesn't need to have that title anymore. This U.S. title run has made that belt significant. Is one of his best reigns of any of his reigns.
You know what I'd like to see John Cena in? And I'm being completely honest with you. I would like to see him in a legitimate tag team. It's the only thing he hasn't done yet.
No, I
think he would be good at it.
Because honestly, the only time he's held the tag titles
was one-off WrestleMania. One-off opponents.
Did it like back-to-back years.
Yeah, but to see him in a legitimate tag team would make sense. And that's the one thing that WCW didn't get right that WWE has. They didn't take their main event talent, recycle them down to the mid-card to bring them back up again. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing they didn't do. Everything else, they had stables that worked. They had stables that worked. They had heel stables that worked. They had tag teams that worked. They had tag teams wrestlers break out in the singles competition who won championships. Everything else made sense. The only thing they could never get was that concrete recycling of top stars back down to the mid card, which they got right in the NWA all the time. Because when I just started watching Nitro again the other night. Like, I'm watching Wrestle War 91. I'm going through 91 right now. And I started watching, like, the couple first episodes of Nitro. Ric Flair was the United States champion. He just had a pay-per-view match against Eddie Guerrero at Hog Wild 98. See, they got it. They had it down. They recycled the stars. It just got to a point when the NWO came in. It was that all they focused on was the war between the NWO and WCW, so the same 7 guys had the belt. Because that was the power, which is bullshit. And that's where that started, too, in WCW. Where you have the belt, you have the power crap that drug on into TNA. And, Paul, thinking of that, you sat there and you said you watched Impact. And I watched that same Impact. I did this a couple weeks later, but where Vader came out and put on a match. I forget who it was. I think it was, what the fuck is that guy's name? Oh, wasn't EC3. Bram? It was Bram. I think it was Bram. Well, and the whole storyline now is that Bram's calling out people from the ex-TNA roster or NWA TNA roster, and they're going to come in and, have a match with him, but unlike when they did it in WWE with Heath Slater and the Legend would come down and kick his ass. And here's the thing. Vader comes out on WWE to kick Heath Slater's ass. Everybody's like, oh, wow, look, it's Vader. Yeah, Vader, woohoo, Vader time, do the finger thing. Yeah, buy the mask. Whatever, fucking moonsault, whatever Vader does. But he comes out on TNA.
Why are you dissing Vader?
I'm not. I'm just getting to a point. But when he comes out on TNA and does the same thing but yet loses like you're supposed to do, he gets shit on. I'm done with you fucking wrestling fans. Anything to add?
Oh, you were just too heated to begin with, so I just kind of let you vent.
It's been a long day.
Yeah, when it has to do with WCW, it kind of gets you more boiled than it gets me. I just stay calm about it. Honestly, you're never going to change the minds of all the people that were against WCW to begin with. It's been like a constant battle to try and actually get them to understand what we're trying to say.
It's because, they're just... And here's the thing. And I'm not just hating on WWE and promoting WCW. Don't get me wrong here. I'm in the middle of doing 3 experiments on WWE Network. One, watching from 1990 to 1993 or 4 when Hogan came in at WCW. However, I'm also watching 94 through 96 in WWF right now. And you want to yell at us about horrible gimmicks? I've seen Rikishi be 5 different gimmicks. I've seen a plumber, a trash man, a 7-foot turkey. It's the only one I've liked so far.
By the way, did you see that? Speaking of those gimmicks, well, Adam Rose just got released.
Good.
And you know how Justin Gabriel was released before. He actually went in an interview and described his experience about being the bunny because he was the bunny.
It was a good bunny?
Yeah,
okay.
Justin Gabriel was the bunny the whole time.
Yeah, kind of figured. Okay, plumber, trash can man, 7-foot turkey. You had the last match I watched was the Quebecers who were there singing "Not the Mountie," so I have a Mountie moment to talk about.
The Mountie!
Facing Owen Hart and Bret Hart for the WWF Tag Team Championships. Okay, you know who their manager was? The Quebecers manager in 93.
93?
Yes.
Well, it wasn't Joe Cornette.
94, 93.
Joe Cornette was...
He was in Smoky Mountain.
It wasn't Paul Heyman, was it?
Johnny Polo.
I just, for some reason...
Okay, now, bonus question. Who did Johnny Polo eventually become?
Johnny Polo?
Johnny Polo.
Honestly, I don't know.
Raven.
Really?
Yep. Johnny Polo, who also in his managerial career managed Adam Bomb.
Oh, that I know.
I'm a nerd. Adam Bomb. He was managing the Quebecers, not the Mounties.
Quebecers.
No, the Quebecers.
I never cared about them.
And there's the thing. And at this point, you also had a fucking clown running around.
You're a clown.
No, literally, the clown. Doink. And you said, don't get me wrong.
Wait, is he still in the ring?
Yeah, he's still talking.
They just went to commercial and got back.
Yeah, 22 minutes into the show, we're still talking. Anyway, and yet people bitch about the ding-dongs, people bitch about the dynamic dudes, people bitch about...
Bushwhackers.
Fuck the Bushwhackers.
You know they're in.
I know. But by the way, I'm fine.
They're in before Demolition.
I'm fine with that now. I've made my peace with
They're in before the Freebirds.
What?
I'm not making my peace about that.
Please let this be the midget. Please let this be the midget. Please let this be the midget. Please let this be the... No, that's not the midget. Oh, music change. Uh-oh. Oh, Neville. Okay. Damn! And people want to bitch about the Black Scorpion. I don't want to hear it anymore. When WCW went out of business, these are the gimmicks that they had. Scott Steiner, who is a crazy man.
Well, that's not a gimmick. That's just a personality.
Scott Steiner, but when you walk a tiger down to the ring, that's crazy. Booker T, who was the People's Champion at the time.
Yes, and that I'll take over King Booker anytime.
DDP, who was the scorned People's Champion, who has turned his back on the people and started the Jersey Triad, which is a rip-off of the Triple Threat. It kicks
me off. Again.
You still had Ric Flair, who was being crazy, which is wonderful. But if you want to say, but yet they had no good gimmicks. The gimmicks you had when WWE took over, you had Austin trying to be a heel, which nobody wanted. You had Rock, that was a face that played the same old gimmick, but it's The Rock. It doesn't matter. Kurt Angle, who was an Olympic champion, was singing with a tiny cowboy hat on his head, and singing Jimmy Crack Corn and I Don't Care. You had Vince McMahon.
This is for the WWE Championship.
Good for them. They're not going to lose. He's not going to win.
Yeah, but still.
You had Vince McMahon, who was groping and pretty much raping every diva on the...
And telling everybody to kiss his ass.
And he was the genetic jackhammer. And yet people want to bitch about Hogan and Flair being Hogan and Flair. And I don't care what anybody says. That last incarnation of the Macho Man with the stars on his chest with Team Madness was fucking phenomenal.
Who should I pick as my backup tight end? With what's left?
Kyle Rudolph.
No, I don't trust him. I don't trust him. I don't think... No, Kyle Rudolph's not even a choice for me. I don't trust him at all. I'm thinking...
So I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the people hating... And you know what? WWE does it to this day. Who'd you pick? Who'd you pick? You picked Vernon Davis?
Yes, I did.
You son of you. Goddamn.
Do you know how late it is? It's the second to last round.
Care.
All I need is a kicker now.
Anyway. And WWE does the same thing. You remember that Rep series? What were they thinking? Are You Serious?
Yes.
You watch that? What was the one thing on that series? One constant, I guess, promotion. WCW ruins everything. Fuck you.
You know, there's actually a Facebook page for that, too. It's really stupid.
Fuck you, too. They don't ruin everything. Okay, they had war games. They had an undefeated streak in Goldberg that was tremendous. They had the Nature Boy Ric Flair. They rebirthed Hulk Hogan's career. They had a tremendous amount of talent. They had everything they needed to be except one thing. Constant wrestling leadership.
I'll let you pick the kicker.
Pardon, he's going to talk. I got to pick a kicker.
Yeah, they where the hell did you even leave off? I've been focused on this freaking...
the fact that they had good things and...
You know what? Screw it. Well, he's actually busy. I'll talk a different thing. I'm actually focusing on the Monday Night Raw right now, and the first actual match after 22 minutes of Seth Rollins chatting is the WWE World Championship match between Seth Rollins and Neville, which it is a great match. It's a great match to watch.
You're drafting Cody Parkey.
I don't care. It's a kicker. It's a fucking kicker.
Still.
No, it's, you know, even though you know Neville's not going to win, it's still the fact that this is great. And you're kicking off Raw with the championship match.
You know what this means, right? It's only going downhill from here.
Oh, yeah. No. It's only going to go downhill until the main event, which is...
Can we talk about that now?
Yeah, we'll just talk about it now. Get it over with.
Okay, so they open... This is how... We're going to do a small Raw review since I'm done with my WCW run. We opened up the show with tremendous tribute to Roddy Piper.
Yes.
And then of them just continuing the show, they have to run the fucking signature and ruin an entire good moment, because God forbid you don't run the signature. And they open it up with the tremendous announcement of another, I think the second week in a row, 6-man tag team main event between Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Sheamus
versus Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, and my boy Dean Ambrose. Yep.
Yay.
You know, it might still be entertaining, but like what? I'm just
fucking. That was the second time in a row they did a 6-man tag match. You know what? Fuck it. Let's make Raw every other week.
No, how about if we're gonna have a 6-man tag match, make sure it's on Teddy Long's, you know.
No, how about this? If you have a 6-man tag match, you should have done it. What you should have done it years ago, and have 2 constant stables that break guys and have them war. No, instead of throwing just random fucking people together.
Yeah. Like no, this is a formal 2 of a former stable versus 2 of a former stable.
With one fucking guy in the middle.
The 2 people that are facing each other in another storyline.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That would make sense if the 2 stables were relevant.
Yeah, it's not actually the Shield versus the Wyatt family right now. It's actually the Wyatt family versus
the X-Shield.
The Brotherhood
of Justice.
Brotherhood of Justice. Yeah, the Brotherhood of Justice.
I just coined that now. That's what they're called from now on.
Hashtag Brotherhood of Justice.
Justice League of America. Brotherhood of America. I don't fucking
America.
Fuck yeah. So I'm not excited about Raw already. To be honest, last week's show, did you watch it? Because I didn't. I caught the Wyatt promo, and that was about it.
I passed out before I could watch most of it.
You know why? Because last week I sat in the chair right there, and turned it off and started watching WrestleWar 91. And when I picked up Stephanie from work, I sat there and talked to her. My fiance knows nothing of wrestling. She refers to Seth Rollins as skunkhead. Okay, she is so stoked to watch Taker versus Hogan at Tuesday night in Texas at this point. It's not even funny. I sat there and contemplated why I still watch these shows. Why I bother. Because I don't know
Because
why.
there's matches like that once in a while.
Yeah, once in a while.
It was getting really good for a while, and then they just stopped with, like, what are they doing with Dean Ambrose anyway? They don't even know what they're doing.
Not even Ambrose. Right now, we're going to cut this because I'm looking at the clock.
Yeah, it's over 20 minutes.
Video, so I'm going to cut this up, hopefully. If not, it's going to be a little bit longer video. But we're going to come back in about 10 to 15 minutes, and we're going to talk about something a little bit different, and we're going to review something on the side. So, take care, guys. Have a good night. Bye.